This is how you're going to become consistent and become successful within 30 days. Today is day 3 out of 30. So if you have not seen the videos already, I will put it somewhere on the screen or in the description. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance. Let's just get straight into today's video. So the first video we talked about out of day 1 was basically how do you become consistent, how you're going to become successful. And what we went over, if you're new here, basically and briefly, was just understanding what are your goals, what it is that you're trying to receive, what are you trying to accomplish. In order for you to become consistent or become successful, you have to be aware, you have to be intentional, you have to be strategic. So basically, I'm going to break down the video step by step, but it's helped me along my healing journey, as well as having conversations with you and regular people every day, every life. Because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, become successful, become consistent. Take what resonates and leave the rest. But basically, it's really important to do things step by step, at least for me, what I've realized, what has helped me along my healing journey, and just informing and educate viewers like you. The reason why it was very informative to break things down is so we're not overwhelmed, we're not stressed out, and we're not discouraged or feel like easily wanting to give up or just feel like we're not confident. Being consistent comes with being confident. Being consistent comes with being educated. Being consistent comes with being disciplined. So it's like if you're trying to do a trillion tasks in a day, you start to feel overwhelmed, you start to feel overworked, you start to doubt yourself, you feel unmotivated, and you want to give up on yourself. The whole purpose of the 30 days is to start to gain these habits and these skills. A habit and skills on average can take 18 days to 254 days. You can look this up. On average, 66 days for most average people to gain a new skill. So whether that's learning a new language, learning how to start a business, becoming a content creator, healing yourself, elevating yourself, going back to school, whatever it is, saving money, it takes time. So when you set your goals, when you set your intentions, number one, we have to let go of the outcome. We have to let go of expectations. And most importantly, we have to have trust. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video as the third video and the third challenge out of the 30. The second video that we talked about, right, just to reiterate once again, if you're new here, is how do you train your mindset and how to become consistent. So now that we have the goal, now that we understand what it is we want to receive, now that we're aware of what it is that we want to achieve, and we understand the responsibilities that come with it, how are we going to start to change our mindset? How do we actually start to become prepared? In order for you to achieve the things that you want, like I've stated, you have to become equipped, which means you have to become knowledgeable. So when you're unlearning information and you decide to learn information, you have to realize this is going to affect you in any area of your life. It can affect you psychologically, mentally, spiritually, financially, howeverly. You have to become aware, which is having a level of comprehension and understanding, and you have to be prepared. In order for you to be prepared to be consistent, you have to understand what are the responsibilities that come with your goal. So for example, if your goal is to lose weight, I like to speak in general and give general knowledge as well as analogies and examples, because everyone's goals and definition of success is going to be different. But to make it simple, keep it cute, demure, as kids like to say, if your goal is to lose weight, without getting too sidetracked here, if your goal is to lose weight, what are going to be the responsibilities that come with losing weight? And you have to understand, when you're doing something that you don't know, it's unfamiliar. Everyone doesn't know that if you want to lose weight, that you may have to change the way you eat. Everyone may not have the finances to go to a membership, a gym membership, or start yoga or Pilates. Some people may not know what foods to cut off or what foods to start implementing. Like, everyone may not have the support to go to the gym and show up. So it's like, we're not going to beat ourselves up. We're not going to be hard on ourselves, but it's important and very mindful that you learn the responsibilities that come with our goals, because it's not to say that losing weight is impossible or it's not realistic or it's not something you could do. But if you don't understand what it's going to take to lose the weight, to maintain the weight, or to gain the weight, or to become fit, that's where a lot of fear creeps in. And the whole purpose of you being consistent and becoming successful is to overcome your fears. It's not for you to be stuck and stagnant. If you don't start your goals with confidence, confidence has to gain naturally over time. And that's what consistency is. Doing something or acting out or experiencing a lifestyle daily. And because we're setting goals and we're becoming successful, and we may not have done this before, we don't know how long it's going to take. That's why the first 2 episodes, what we went over was understanding, is this something that you really want? If you say you want to lose weight, are you willing to find ways to educate yourself in nutrition? Are you willing to cut off certain foods? Are you willing to stop being a big back and eat fast food, Pan Express, McDonald's, Happy Meals, and start eating fruits and vegetables and smoothies and protein shakes? Are you willing to start exercising? Are you willing to go 10,000 steps, run miles? Are you willing to start drinking water? Are you willing to get a personal trainer? Do you have the finances to start and go to a membership, to a gym? You know, so instead of being overwhelmed, instead of being worked out, we're going to break it down. So now for today's video, what we're going to talk about is building a relationship with ourselves. So in order for you to sustain longevity, you have to know that your goal that you're going after, not only are you going to achieve it and complete it, but it's going to work out for you because you want it. If you do not have a genuine desire to do anything, be consistent or become successful, why and how do you think things are going to happen for you or that you're going to see results? If you are somebody who does not see instant results, you're going to feel discouraged. You're going to feel triggered. And the best way for you to build a relationship is to let go of the outcomes. So you have to realize that when you're learning a new language, you're being taught something that you're not used to. It's going to take time for you to adapt, right? It's going to take time for you to process. When you're learning how to ride a bike, you may fall a couple times. You may scrape yourself. That is a part of the process. So when you're building a relationship with yourself, when you're becoming consistent with yourself, you have to be able to trust yourself, right? You have to know that if you are doing everything that you can, if you are putting time, energy, and effort into what it takes for you to achieve your goals, then everything is going to work out for you. So in order for you to build a relationship with yourself, we have to understand your values. You have to understand what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. So when you get the chance, whenever you come across this video, and if you haven't already, make sure you have a pen and paper. I should start saying that in the beginning. I'll probably put it in the descriptions. But when you watch these videos for the next 30 days or how many more days it's left when you see this, make sure you have a pen and paper. Make sure you get an iPad, your notes, however you need to. Start taking notes and apply the information. It is very useless for you to not at least learn something and apply what you've learned. Now, of course, you don't have to rush yourself or force yourself to apply the information. It will come gradually and naturally. But when you do anything, whenever you see this video for the month of November or December, whenever you watch it, be intentional. Be very intentional. Be very mindful of how and what you're focusing on. So when you start to build a relationship with yourself, you need to know what are your values. So when you get this notebook and this pen and paper, I need you to write down values at the top and list some things that you value. The reason why you need to know what it is that you value if you're not secure in yourself is so you know what to start focusing on. In order for you to build trust, to be consistent and be successful, you have to, like I said, be very strategic. So if you know that you value time, energy, effort, your appearance, etc., anything else that is not in alignment with that, you have to start removing. You have to be okay with creating distance and separating yourself from people, places, and things who do not align with what you value. So an example of this, when you say you're going to do certain things, you have to make sure that you execute it. If you're not somebody who executes their plans, we have to come up with a strategy and a solution in order for you to achieve your goals and your plans. So when you make certain choices, if you say you're going to clean your room today, if that was your goal and you didn't clean your goal, you have to be accountable for the fact that you didn't show up today. And that tomorrow or whenever you have time, you're going to work towards it. That's the same thing when it comes to being consistent. If our goal for 30 days is to go to the gym, right? This is the analogy and example I'm giving you. If you know that you've been going to the gym, let's just say for the first week, and then a day later you miss the gym, the next time you go to the gym, you have to make up for the time. And you have to be honest. If you know that right now is not the time for you to be consistent, or right now you're not ready, say that. Acknowledge that. You have to realize that when you are building a relationship with yourself, nobody can rush you. Nobody could tell you how to build a relationship with yourself, honestly, because you know you more than anybody else. You're the only person. Sorry, you guys. I am making this video live as I speak. You're the only person who knows what you want in this life. You know what it is that you want to do. You know what it is that you want to receive and achieve. So as you're learning to trust yourself, as you write down your values, you have to start making time for yourself. Being consistent is basically prioritizing your values. So if you value losing weight and being healthy, instead of going out to eat and being a big bag, okay, instead of going out and being around your friends and going to these restaurants and bars, start disciplining yourself and either cook food at home or stop spending all your money when you see certain foods. If you are going to go out to eat, if you are going to be a big bag, make sure the food that you're consuming is in alignment with your goals. Being consistent doesn't have to be challenging. Being consistent doesn't have to be difficult. But if you cannot start with cutting off certain things that you know that's not helping you, you're going to struggle with being consistent. When you are building this relationship with yourself as you're choosing to be consistent, you have to be very mindful of how certain choices affect you. So being consistent, being successful is based off of accountability. If you struggle with accountability, you have to acknowledge that. The best way for you to not struggle with accountability is to verbally confirm it. To verbally say out loud, I struggle with accountability because I wasn't taught emotional intelligence. I struggle with accountability because I don't like to be wrong. I struggle with accountability because I don't know how to be accountable. I struggle with accountability because I wasn't shown, or I wasn't taught, or I wasn't exposed to X, Y, and Z, or whatever it is. Once you can verbally confirm and acknowledge what it is that you're feeling, you can now process how it's affecting you in your life and now come up with solutions for you to handle what you're going through. Building a relationship with yourself also is going to require you to take time for yourself. So when you're deciding to become consistent, you have to make yourself a priority. So when you see this video, another challenge that I have for you is to schedule some time to yourself. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next couple of days, is your schedule and your routine. In order for you to figure out what you need to do daily in order for you to become successful or achieve your goals, like I said, without making it too problematic or too overwhelming, you need to know when you can start making time for yourself. So all I want you to do in this video is to have some self-care days, self-care days. This is what happens when you make a video live and not edit it. I don't want to edit it. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. So when you start to make some self-care days to yourself, I want you to write down what it is that you like to do. So when you're writing down your values, when you are prioritizing yourself and you're figuring out what it is that you like to do, anything that you are aware of and that you have access to and you have control over that's not in alignment with those things, you need to start removing yourself from it. Being consistent takes time. So like I said, if you're surrounding yourself with people and they're not consistent, they're not successful, they don't want to grow, they don't want to be consistent, I need you to stop communicating to them. Now, when you start to cut off certain people, places, and things and prioritize yourself, it doesn't have to be permanent. You'll know if the relationship is going to be permanent, if it's time for you to move forward, when you're growing and those people, places, and things are no longer compatible with you because they don't resonate with you or they're not happy for you. When you choose to be consistent, you have to gain a level of trust. And as you learn to take this time to yourself, as you are aware of what it is that you value, as you are making time and understanding what you like and what you don't like, you then have the level of awareness to remove anything or anybody who is not contributing into your life. Because you have to ask yourself, what's more important? Me becoming successful, me being consistent in certain areas of my life so I can improve myself, or being around certain people, places, and things who don't want you to grow or feeling stuck and stagnant. You have to learn to make time for yourself. So the next couple of days, whenever you have time to be off, sit with yourself. Like I said, you can either sit with yourself, you can meditate, you can exercise, you can rest, or the time that you have that you're usually hanging out with other people or doing things that are not in alignment with your goals, start doing. So if you're trying to lose weight and you have the day off to yourself, instead of maybe going to the gym, because like I said, you may not have a gym membership or you may not have transportation, start watching videos on YouTube on how to lose weight. What can you expect when losing weight? What type of food do you need to start consuming? Like, start educating yourself in these areas, so therefore when you get the resources, you get the finances, you could start making decisions. Being consistent, being successful is literally based off of the decisions that we're making. Same thing when it comes to self-care. When you know what you like, when you're by yourself, start doing those things that make you feel good. So if you're a lady, you like to get your hair done, you like to get your nails done, get your hair done, get your nails done. If you need to go to the spa, get a massage, get a pedicure, get your eyelashes done. If you like to go shopping, go shopping. If you like to exercise, go to yoga, join Pilates. If you like to go hiking, swimming, and camping, enjoy yourself. Because in order for you to be consistent and successful, not only do you have to be relaxed, you have to be calm, you have to be excited. You have to be excited about what it is that you're going after. You don't have to feel overwhelmed just because you're being consistent. These 30 days isn't for you to feel like, oh my gosh, I just have to do this. If I don't do this, I'm not going to. No, you're not meant to be overwhelmed. You cannot be overwhelmed and confident at the same time. It's going to be chaotic. Things don't have to be chaotic. So when you're building this relationship with yourself, you have to understand that you're going to grow. When you start to grow, your mindset is going to grow. The things that you value may grow, and that's okay. Just because you were exposed to certain information, just because you were taught certain things, doesn't mean that you have to continue to do those things or condone that type of behavior. So the only challenge that I have for you, the two main challenges, is to identify your values and make time for yourself, and make sure that when you're making time for yourself, once you set your goal, that was the first thing that we did in the video, was make sure that what you value and what you're doing is in alignment with your goals. So if your goal was to lose weight, what are some values that are going to help you be consistent with losing weight? So you could value not eating junk food. You could value your diet. You could value your physical appearance. What are you going to do with your spare time now that you know your values? You're going to exercise 10 minutes a day. You're going to cut back on sugar or certain foods. When you are being consistent, you have to be strategic. So the next video that we're going to go over and discuss in the next couple of days, now that we know what it is that we want to achieve, now that we know what it is that we want to receive, now that we are aware of our mindset, now that we're building a relationship with ourselves and trusting ourselves, is figuring out what we're interested in and how we can start coming up with solutions. You cannot figure out a solution if you don't know what your problem is, if you don't know how it's affecting you. And because your mental health is connected to all areas of your life, we have to take it each day for what it is. Your mental health is connected to your psychological health, your emotional health, your financial health, physical, spiritual, mental, etc. So once again, I'm breaking these videos step by step. Make sure when you watch these videos, you have a notebook, you have a pen in your iPad, take your notes, apply the knowledge, watch it as many times as you need to. And if you have questions, comments, or concerns and these videos resonate with you, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you're commenting down below, subscribe, turn on your post notification bell. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Ty_guidance to stay up to date, TYI guidance. All the information will be down in the description box below. And if you want a one-on-one session and need more help or assistance, head to my website at tyguidance.summer.com or DM me on Instagram with any questions that you have. Or if this video is interested, you want to continue, or if I haven't talked about something that you want to address, let me know in the comment section on YouTube. I go live on TikTok and on Instagram, and on my story time, I ask you guys questions by having polls in the story to see we're in my story, excuse me, to see where you guys are at, if these videos are helping you, if we need to take away from things, or we need to continue to focus. But remember, being consistent is a lifestyle, but in order for us to change our lifestyle, we have to change our mindset, we have to change our behavior, we have to change our attitude, and we have to take each day for what it is. So I'm not going to stress you guys out. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I think it's important to just be present. Most importantly, watch these videos daily, like, of course, whenever you have the chance, but just be mindful when you watch these videos. Set the intention. We're going to continue to break things down step by step and inform and educate the best way, that we can. So make sure you stay tuned for day 4, because we already went through the first 3 days. Congratulations. Pat yourself on the back. When I post the next video, it may be all 30 of them, depending on when you see this, but we're going to get through the first 30 days. We're going to get through the first 30 days. We're educating ourselves, and you have to realize learning a skill, creating a habit, on average, like I said, statistically, you can Google this information, 18 to 254 days. 66 is for average, right? A habit. 21 days, 60 days. People talk about that all the time when it comes to numbers. So if we're doing 30 days of mentally preparing ourselves, psychologically preparing ourselves, emotionally regulating ourselves, physically, the results will come. Do not give up on yourself. Don't overwork and overwhelm yourself. Be present, take the information daily, and just show up. Consistency is based off of you doing tasks every single day or daily. Okay? Love you. Bye.